Time is one of the containers that we think that all our past experiences is stored in this container called the past, and all our future experiences are stored in this container called the future. But if you take away those two containers, or rather you see that they are absolutely non-existent, then where are all our past experiences stored? Where did they go? This thought, yes, this thought, it's present. When it goes, where has it gone? Where is there for it to go? Is there a time outside the now? Or a space outside the here, into which our old experiences can go, or from which they can come? There is no such time or place.
Brilliant.
The time or place is eternity, infinite eternity. It is pure consciousness, dimensionless consciousness, which is the totality of everything. Right. The past is an idea, and I'm not saying that it's not a valid idea. It is a valid idea, but is it an idea that corresponds to your experience?
No, it doesn't hold up very well.
Okay, all right. So if neither the past or the future hold up to experience, and as I say, that's not to invalidate the concept of time. The concept of time is valuable, but we're trying to discover whether the concept of time is just a useful tool that we use from time to time, or whether it actually describes our experience, whether there really is something called time. And you've discovered, you've admitted quite rightly that you've never experienced the past or the future. And not only that, nor could you.
True.
And if we asked anybody, not just anybody in this room, but any of the 7 billion of us, have you ever actually experienced the past? Not have you had a thought in the present about an apparent past, but have you ever actually experienced that past to which your thought refers? Everyone will have to answer no. Now, if nobody has ever experienced a past and a future, could it be, and the time is the movement between the past and the future, but if nobody has ever experienced these two spaces called the past and the future, could it be that time is not, it's just not quite what we think it is? Let me just give you another model as a possibility. That we're not moving along, that time is not cast in stone out there in the universe, and that we are moving along this line of time. That's the conventional model that we all think, or many of us think we experience. Let me give you an alternative model. That in just the same way that this is always the same space, yes? Our meetings take place always in the same space. The space is not going anywhere. We come in and out of it, but the space is always the same. We think that our meetings take place at a different time, but always in the same place. Yes? They take place at 24-hour intervals. Each meeting takes place at a different time, but they all take place in the same place. Yeah? What about if time was like space in that respect? That the now was like space, but without the 3 dimensions. In other words, that the now is the only now there is, and that like space, it's not going anywhere. And that instead of time being spread out in one long line from the infinite past to the infinite future, and we move along a little segment of it, what about if time was ever present? In other words, what about if there isn't really time? There is eternity, which means not the everlasting now, the ever-present now, this the only now there ever is. And that thoughts appear in it, sensations appear in it, just like objects appear in the same space, relatively speaking here. What about if all the objects of our experience, thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions? What about if they all arise in the same, not going anywhere now, and that a thought then arises, collates all these different experiences, remembers them, and imagine, in order to house them all, imagines a line of time in which it can place all these objects, and with that creates the idea of linear time. But actually, experience doesn't appear in linear time. All experience appears now. And if I were to ask you, is the now moving along a line of time? I mean, how fast exactly is the now going in your experience?
It's motionless.
It's perfect. It's motionless. It's not going anywhere. It's not moving from the past over there at a certain speed to a future over there. It's motionless. In other words, it's ever present. This, the only now there is. And everything appears in that. And it's only a thought. Because thought cannot see the ever-present now, which is awareness, it has to manufacture. In other words, thought can't see the space of the now in which experience arises, because it's invisible to thought. So thought thinks, objects are coming and going. They must come and go in something. What do they come and go in? Well, I look around. I thought looks around. I can't find the now anywhere. I can't find awareness anywhere. I know. I'll make up this substance called time. As soon as I make up this substance called time, then I can populate it with all these events. So time is what eternity looks like when viewed by the mind.